Hello again, YouTube. I'm Charlie. This is House Call Auto Repair. Today, we're on our way over to my friend Chuck's house. We work on his 2015 Toyota Rav4. He's got about 70,000 miles on it, I think. The rotors are in real good shape. The brakes are just really worn down. No noises, no metal to metal, no pulsation. So I think all we're going to be doing is just brake pads. Well, we've arrived at Chuck's. Nice driveway. Alright, and there's the beast. Yep. That's what we're going to be putting the front brakes in today. Oh, apparently all we need is just the pads. Alrighty, I've already got the vehicle up on jack stands, got the wheel off. Grab hold of the caliper assembly, rotate it over this way, and take out the caliper bolts. .14mm. Caliper up. Something to hook it on so you don't drop it. Brake pads are nice and loose. That's good. They are extremely worn. And it's worn evenly all the way around. Both sides evenly all the way around. We're good. Here's your pins. Pins need a little bit of more lube. They're starting to stick a little bit. We'll take the bracket off. That's a 17mm. There goes the guard from the impact. And it's breaker bar time. Our caliper bracket, a little bit of rust on it. Hardware clips. Be careful with these things, because if you're not, they will cut you. They need to come out, so we'll grab a screwdriver, pop them out. Boy, they are really stuck in there. Yeah, got a little rust scaling right underneath there. Nothing all too bad. We'll clean that up. Get the rest of these clips out. Boy, they're really stuck in there. There's the old ones. They always give you one of these, but I carry the big containers of it. We'll open up our brand new brakes. 4 individually wrapped. And there's our bag of hardware. And in here we also have the squeal clips, anti-rattle springs. Unwrap all of your all your brake pads. And as always make sure that they're the same thicknesses. Make sure they're exactly the same. There's no differences from one side to the other, because some vehicles you have a different inboard, a different outboard, you got a different right, different left. In this particular case, all 4 are exactly the same. 2 for this side, 2 for the other side. Get the old ones, the old hardware. Put that in the box. This bag's already ripped open. I'm not sure why. I hope there aren't any clips missing. Well, it turns out we've got clips for one side of the vehicle only. So it looks like we're going to end up in a little bit of a have to reuse situation. So we'll show you how to clean up the old hardware. Choose the best. I'm going to go grab my file. Broken file, but it'll still work. Grab your bracket and just get the scaling off of it. Make sure you get all the surfaces that the ears of the brake pad run up against, where your hardware, where all your hardware sits. You get these areas right here all cleaned up. Same thing on the other side. When you're doing this, make sure you're putting even pressure across both sides. You're not doing it at an angle like this, because you will chew off the edges, make your landings uneven. You're not trying to take down metal, just trying to get the rust scaling off. A little chunk of rust right there. And get the other side cleaned up just like that. And we'll use some of our Siliglide. I think I need my other tube of Siliglide. You don't really need a lot, just a little bit. Just a little dab right in there. Dab right in there, a dab right in there, and a little dab right in there. Now, remember when you're doing this, these edges can be a little bit sharp, especially after having gone through the file. But you want to make sure that you coat all of that surface even in the cracks in the corners. No, basically everything that was light rust, bare metal, is covered with just a little bit of the silicone. Like I said, you be careful because you can slice your finger open real easy doing this. Probably be a good idea to wear gloves, but well, some of us are a little lazy, I guess. See, I love doing this. Get to talk to myself while I'm working on the brakes. Now that caliper bracket is almost ready. Pull the rotor off. There's no gouges, no grooves, no uneven colors, no cracking. A couple of little tiny spots right here which are super insignificant. But if you see lines that are coming across, that's usually indicative of a crack on the inside of the rotor. Discoloration is usually indicative of warpage. That this has been wearing very, very evenly and nicely. So we will not need to be replacing these.
Because I'm a good driver.
There you go. Now let's get these pins out. Pull the boots down off of the pin. And then pull your pins out. The grease is, and not a lot of grease in there, so we're going to wipe out the old stuff that's here. Oh, that was a little stubborn. I'll wipe it off and put some fresh grease in there. Pins are nice and clean, there's no rust on them. A little bit of wear right there, nothing major. These pins are in extremely good shape. Trying to not mix up which ones are which. As you'll see, this one here is just a straight pin. And this one here that was on this side has a little rubber piece on it that helps the pin kind of bounce back just a little bit. I got some brake cleaner. I had the thing time out on me once. And spray a little brake cleaner down in there. Actually, what I'm going to do is pull these little boots right off. Okay, these boots are tucked down in. I'm not going to disturb that. Spray a little brake cleaner down in there. A little screwdriver. Mix, 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 mix. Solution up the stuff that's in here. Oh, the bores inside this thing sound nice. Give it a little rinse. Coming back out clean, so our bore is clean. Let's not go getting the water in the pin. Grab my other tube of silicone. Here we are. All right. Put a little bit of Siliglide on the pin. Give it a little coating. You don't want to put so much on it that when you push the pin in, it ends up getting hydro locked inside the bore. You got a nice vacuum seal in there, it's pulling that thing. So we're good and clean, sealed. You want it sealed because you don't want water getting in. Just enough to coat it. And go ahead and put your caliper bracket back on. Actually, probably be easier to put the hardware back in it first. Let's see what we got here for clips. Usually, when the vehicle is running, you're driving down the road and you apply the brakes, the majority of the force is going to be on these two right here. So these two are not going to have any wear. So we'll be able to reuse these two from this side and maybe the top two from the other side. Leave them in the same places, replace just the lower ones in this case. Normally I'd say go back to the hardware store, the parts store, and go replace these, but these really have virtually no wear on them, so we're just going to clean these up. Alright, got our lower clips in place. Put the upper clips in, we've cleaned these up. Make sure when you're putting these in, putting them in the right direction. That's not the right direction. Where here is. So your brake, you look carefully at the ear. You can see right here, there's a little wear pattern. That's where the actual braking pressure to the bracket is going to be. So that's riding right up on this little lip right here. So you make sure that that's really clean. You got your hardware clips back in. Put the bracket back on. Find the hole. Just in case we got any grease on the rotor. And it's in gear, so I can't turn it. Take our new brake pads. We've already got our clips installed on. Take these and slide them in those little clips. Push it in and rotate it. Make sure they move freely. never have to fight to put them in. Everything straight. Now take one of your old brake pads, pull your caliper back down. Take your old brake pad, set your old brake pad against the piston. Using a regular C-clamp. Place your C-clamp on the brake shoe. See, get the clamp straight. In this case, we're right across the top of the banjo bolt. And just gently, slowly push your piston back in. And in this case, the boot's all nice and clean, so we don't have to worry about anything happening there. Always make sure to inspect the boot for debris before pressing it back in. Nice, slow, gentle, and easy. It's also a good idea to be aware of your brake fluid reservoir. Make sure that it's not full or hasn't been filled before doing this. Otherwise, you'll end up with brake fluid all over the engine compartment. And piston's all the way down. Don't force it. It went nice and easy. And the fact that the piston goes in nice and easy tells you that the caliper is in really good shape. Now, a little bit of grease again. So your surface of your boot. Surface your piston's clean. The surface that your brakes are going to be setting against inside the caliper are clean. Just in case there's any debris there. Siliglide again. Just lightly coat the inside of the ears. And a little bit around the piston. What this will do is it'll help prevent any squealing and chattering noises on your brakes.
Sorry. Oh, there was.
Now that we've got the ears lubricated with a little Siliglide, rotate the caliper back down, set it over your brake pads. You may need to push your pins in a little bit. Make sure you don't have any kinks in your hose. And go ahead and put your caliper bolts back in. Grab the breaker bar. And that's not the 18. Where's the 18? The 18's on the impact. Or 17. And the 17. Make sure that your caliper bracket bolts are nice and tight. Offhand, I don't know what the torque specifications are. But I got an 18-inch breaker bar here. It's just got to be tight, really tight, but not so tight that nobody else will ever get them out, or so tight that they break. Those are nice and tight. Now tighten down your caliper bolts. Well, I don't need a breaker bar for these, but you don't have to go gorilla on these. Make sure everything's all tight. Double check everything. Caliper moves nice and easy. And that's it. Pick up everything, get to the other side, put your wheels back on. That's how you do the brakes on the front end of your 2015 Toyota RAV4.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, YouTube. Here's how to do your front brakes. Toyota RAV4. Well, if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate it. Have a good day.